Hey guys, today we have this 2020 Toyota Supra, GR Supra 3.0 Premium, loaded to the gills, which really is navigation, heads-up display, all that good stuff. So this is a dirty car. I got a good deal on it. I'm selling it in the market for a good deal. The whole reason why I bought it is I know some people like to track these cars, and this might be a really good option without having to spend new car money. I actually have a Supra myself that I track. So really familiar with these cars, with the platform. They're incredible. But for me, this is just a quick turn to give someone a really good deal on a car. With my walk around videos, we are gonna do a full 360. I'm gonna point out all the flaws. Most of the flaws on this car are primarily exterior or cosmetic. Mechanically, it's great. It runs and drives very good. Pulls through the gears good. Really just, there's no issues mechanically. But exterior there is. So obviously this is not a factory color. The car's red underneath. And I'll show you in the door seals. It's the factory red. So boom, red. My plan when I got the car was actually to unwrap it, and then I managed to find the old owner of the car, and I asked him, said, hey man, is there anything under the wrap? And unfortunately, the car is keyed. So that is why it is wrapped now. I was gonna unwrap it, do everything recon and then sell it for a bunch more. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna give someone the option to buy the car real cheap, and then they can rewrap it, make it any color they want. The car needs to be rewrapped. The wrap job is not great. There's a lot of imperfections with it. But just understand, you're probably gonna have the car wrapped, for the rest of its life, unless you want to spend the money and get it repainted. But at that point, you may as well just go buy a Supra that isn't wrapped and it's the factory color. But yeah, super nice car. We're gonna start off with the front end. And I'm gonna show you all the imperfections in the wrap so you can see why I stated. Remember, the car is dirty. We will have it detailed. Still not gonna look great when it's done. Just because it's covered in dirt. Our detailer hasn't been here in a little bit. But I'll show you. So we got the massive big hood on the Supra. The hood is also the fender, so I don't know if you noticed that. Huge hood. So a lot of the imperfections on the wrap you're gonna see around the edging. So like this is a two pieces stacked up, and then you'll see you got the little chips of the wrap peeling. So stuff like that. The more you look, the worse it'll get. I got a good friend of mine who wraps cars, and he gets nothing like this comes out of his shop. So I've kind of learned, what's good work and what's not. Even down here, you see how it's peeling up. Not great. The wrap does cover all the sensors, all the proximity sensors. So you're gonna get a chime, a message for that, for every sensor on the car. It's going to show up on the display when you start it. So you'll have that. There are carbon inserts, which they really don't serve function, more just for looks, but if you like it, I think these look okay. So you got these carbon inserts. Same for this. All the factory vents on the car, like these, and then the one on the hood, they are not functional. So you're not really hurting anything doing that. Just making it look a little bit better. But yeah, the wrap, throughout the car is just subpar. It's not great. You even have your side markers covered up. It's not really the way to do it. So we'll go on this side of the vehicle. By the way, I haven't really noticed any dents or dings through the wrap. So that's good. The body should be, solid. But yeah, I'll show you the door. The side vent, again, not functional. That was wrapped black, just to give it the accent. the door handles, they had these carbon covers that went right over, and those are off. There's one in the trunk. I don't know where the other one is. So really the only mods done to the car is lowering springs. So it still has the factory exhaust, factory wheels, brakes, all that. So yeah, show you more of the wrap. By the way, when you wrap a car, if it's red, you know, it's always worth the extra money to do the door seals, the door jams. Always worth it. It does have, I believe this is the Street Hunter's wing. So it is a full carbon wing. I'm unsure if these are adjustable. I would assume they're not. But it is the Street Hunter wing, and they are drilled through the hatch. So you will have drill holes. If you want to change the wing, if you end up tracking it, you know, you're gonna have to drill through the hatch anyways, but you may want to cover the holes depending on the type of wing you go with. You may have different mounting spots. But if you like it, leave it. This wing does look pretty good on the Supra. It kind of looks more like the TRD wing back on the Mark IV Supras. So show you the rear bumper. The exhaust fitment isn't great. I'm not sure. It might actually be a really easy fix, but I noticed that tip sticks out a little more than that one. And while we're on the exhaust, this is the factory catback exhaust. However, it has the valve actuator is not on the car. So basically, whenever you do a cold start, and you're gonna hear it in my video, I'm gonna start it. You're gonna hear this. You're gonna hear your valve kind of just flapping a little bit. Most people will end up changing the exhaust to sound, you know, better. The stock exhaust is still pretty quiet. I had to put mine back on because I have a racetrack out here that has a sound limit, so it was easy for me to just swap it back on. But when you hear that rattle, that's what it is. I'm sure whoever ends up with the car is going to want to do a downpipe and a full exhaust. So yeah, it does have aftermarket clear taillights, and the seals on them are not great. That is why you see the oxidation, or not the oxidation, but condensation inside. I don't think taillights are actually too expensive on this car, but those cheap ones, there's a reason why they're cheap. I feel like I'm roasting the car. It's still a good car. It's just, you know, basically needs a rewrap and some taillights, and then it's, you know, nice again. Yeah. So yeah, everything with the wrap, you know, all those little imperfections, you're just gonna see them throughout the car. What I like looking for is mainly dents, you know, stuff like that, but I don't really see a whole lot going on. You see down here, like, it's torn. And so when you wrap these cars, you got to remove a lot of the trim. Just like this, probably can pop back into place if you want the lines to look good. I'll show you that there. So there used to be a carbon splitter on this car. Actually, the same one I have on mine over there. It showed up to us like this. It's only the side pieces have survived whatever thing it went through. The other one came off on its own. This one, there's nothing holding it in except double-sided tape. I tried removing it, and it's gonna pull the wrap with it, so I just decided to leave it. But if you're gonna rewrap it, it's gonna come off anyways, throw it in the trash. More carbon accents. You got the cool, I think it's the BMW M3 style mirror caps. And then you got the carbon A-pillar covers. And I think this is double-sided tape on too. If you've never owned a Supra, you're gonna wanna buy, they have these wind buffeting stick-on deals that go right here. It just channels the air away from going inside the window. If you drive with the windows down, it creates that helicopter noise that's super annoying. That is the first thing you should ever do when you get a Supra. I did that before I even had my car. So again, it's on lowering springs. Tires are good in tread. The wheels, they might have sensors. I'm not sure. I can't remember if there's a tire light on or not, but I'll check that out. But these may not even be paired to the car. Pretty sure there's a TPMS message in the car. Window tint. It's got this mirror finish window tint. I've never seen this before, but the car has it. I'm gonna leave it on. Even the windshield, I think, has it, yeah. So remember that. So before we go in the interior, I like going always into the engine bay. So we'll hop into here. So the great thing about the 2020s, why they are generally a little more desired, is the ECUs are tunable out of the factory. So I believe you can tune on MHD or ECU Tech. And then in half of 21, the ECUs went locked. So there's no more flashing software. You would actually have to pull the ECU out and then send it to Finland to get cloned, and then they send it back. It's a process, it's expensive and all that. A lot of people that want to modify or they want to track these Supras will end up going with the 2020 just because it's one less thing you have to worry about when you want to start adding power. So everything up here as of right now is stock. Yeah, you got the full air box. In 2020 as well, they did not have the bracing that goes across. However, they had the holes for them. And so a lot of companies like HKS, Cusco, I can go on. They make these braces that literally just screw right in. I don't know why they didn't have it in 2020. And then after that, 21 and up, they all had that. But you got your B58, inline 6, 3 liter, is single turbo, direct injected. I think they made around 340 wheel horsepower on the stock tune. These are a 2-port exhaust manifold. There's tons of upgraded turbo options, factory location turbos. Pure turbo makes awesome turbos, or you can leave it stock because the stock turbo will actually put out pretty decent power, even if you tune on ethanol. But yeah, there's a cover for the brake fluid reservoir that's missing. I don't know why, unless there was a JB4 on the car at one point, but cover's missing. So there's that. We will hop into the interior. It's got the black leather interior, black leather seats. These cars come factory with the JBL sound, so you have factory subs, a couple small ones in the back. There's a lot of cool features on the Supras. If you haven't seen walk around videos on them, check them out. But you got the blind spot detection, which, because the sensors are covered, doesn't really work on the car. But if you set up that blind spot detection, the steering wheel vibrates, which is pretty cool, as well as your seat. These cars do have the adaptive cruise control when everything is set up correctly. You got heads-up display, so we'll get in there and start it up in a minute. The interior is actually in really good shape. The seat still looks good. I don't see any tears or rips. We'll go on the other side. So, nice black seats. Got some sweet carbon accents. That is factory. This was added on. Put this plate in here. And we'll hop in the car, start it up. Remember, you're gonna hear the rattle from that little valve. It will go away once it's warmed up. You won't hear it really at all once it warms up. I do know this car is, there's a thing called Beamer code where you can plug into the LBD2 and then set your own settings for your driver interface. So example, usually when you start the car, it's going to be in, just normal mode, but this one starts up in sport mode, so you can code that in to Beamer code. Then you can also change like your welcome screen. So like this car has the BMW M welcome screen. You can even change the door chime and stuff like that. I like it. It's on my own car. I got Mini Cooper noises going on, but pretty sweet. Yeah, you can see the current mileage, 47,706. On a good day, this car will probably get around 33, 34 miles per gallon from my experience. You do have Apple CarPlay, wireless Apple CarPlay. So that's really cool. You just got to set up on your phone, or you can plug it in. You do have a wireless phone charger as well. Then you got your HVAC controls. All this stuff works perfect. The AC and all that works good, blows ice cold. You do have heated seats. Those also do work. So that's nice. You do have navigation. You can go in here and if you've never owned a BMW, basically your service manual is in the screen. But you also can go down and see if the car needs anything. So I'll show you. You can read that. So I guess a tire measure or a TPMS does work if it's putting out those readings. You check engine oil level. So if your car's ever low on oil, they'll tell you on the screen. These cars do not have a dipstick, so every once in a while measure your engine oil. And this will tell you all the warnings. And mainly this is from the wrap covering up a lot of the sensors. And then service required. So right now all that is good. So the transmission inside the Supra is a ZF8. So it's an 8-speed torque converted auto. So it's got a torque converter. You would think it's a dual clutch trans with how fast it shifts. The transmission is incredible. It puts up well with abuse. Especially on track, it does well. Under 600 horsepower. You got your heads-up display. Pretty neat. Because this car has navigation, it will tell you the speed limit on any road that you're on over there. If you put in an address through the factory Navi, you'll have the map a little bit on your screen too. It's a neat little feature. To switch your drive modes, you can just press this once. If you go into normal mode, then you're going to want to turn off the auto start, auto on off. It's very annoying when it shuts off. And then you can hold this down and it turns off all the extra safety stuff. So really cool. The exhaust is quieted up. And I'll throw a couple revs at you. So that is in normal. Put in sport, you get a little bit more pops and bangs. That is factory from like that, so that's what they do. I've seen guys add extra burbles to them and it sounds like a machine gun going off. One more thing, we'll go in the trunk. The car has a custom crossbar added on, so let's go back here. So that white thing is added on. That is not a true harness bar. Do not actually put harnesses on that. That is not a safe space to do that. You can see your factory subs back here. And then you got your the carbon pieces I was telling you about. And then you got one of your fuse boxes back here too. Sometimes there's a flat tire kit. So got that. You got your front tow hook. Very good. Oops. So This is probably another big flaw, is whoever installed the wing, you know, they were not patient with that, so you're gonna have this going on. I don't know how that happens, but it did. But yeah, car has no leaks. Like I said, there's no issues mechanically. It runs great. I probably put at least 150 miles on it, so it drives good, brakes, all that stuff is good on the car. So, but yeah, it is not a perfect Supra, and that is why I'm making this video, to kind of show why. It's got a clean title, got a clean Carfax. We originally got it through Carvana wholesale, so that's how I acquired the car. But anyways, we're gonna wrap up the video here. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. And that is, we're done. So see you later.